All right, good afternoon. It is Wednesday afternoon. We are just shy of completing weeks 5 and week 11. I'm shooting this video for both classes because we have videos at this point that show the entire set of forms that each class has seen so far. So 1 through 8 for the elder group in West Bend, who only has a week left after tomorrow. And we are through, coming today will be the end of week 5 for the group at Fife Family. So what I want to show you today, and we're actually going to do this one today, or we'll have done this one by the time you see it, as part of our therapeutics today, is the normal balance routine that I would do if I was teaching a fitness class. Different from the warm-up, but it's a specific balance portion. It's a fairly easy sequence to go through because it's progressive. So you start with small movements and you work them up. You start with moving and then to holds. So we'll just kind of walk through that in a bit of a condensed format. We normally do each one of the pieces for a little bit longer than I'll show them, but just so that you know what the sequence is. I do have a printout of this sequence that somebody had asked me for back when I was teaching Senior Strong at Fife. And so that's available. It's probably pretty close to what I'll show you today. So we usually start just feet about hips width apart. And we begin simply by shifting weight side to side, keeping the feet down. Just want you to get that feeling of one leg getting full as the other one gets emptied, and the weight shifting back and forth. PTs that specialize in balance will tell you the most important thing that you need to learn and that you need to really internalize as we age is the notion of being able to shift weight and being comfortable shifting weight from side to side, and as well really forward and backward. So we do some forward backward motions as well. And we gradually go from the shifting to a shift and lift. So we're just going to pick up a foot. Shift and lift. Shift and lift. So we come back and forth a few times. And then we take that lift into a hold, shift, lift, hold. And we're just hovering there. And it's fairly brief. Set it down, shift, lift, hold. Just a breath or two. And then we'll come back to just the shifting back and forth. Then we increase the lift. So bringing a knee up. It doesn't have to be real high, but a little bit higher because we'll eventually want to do something with that leg that we've got in the air. So shift and lift, and then we go into our single leg holds. Shift, lift, hold, and just stay there. And it doesn't matter whether your knee is up here or your leg is back, either one is fine. Shift, lift, hold, and we'll gradually work that up. And maybe we'll get that one to the point that we're actually counting down from, say 5 or counting down from 8. Progressing beyond that lift there, we have the pedaling the bike. So you're standing on one leg, and anytime we're standing on one leg, we want that knee to be soft. So we don't want to lock out the knee. We usually take a little pause, and then we backpedal. And I'll usually go long enough to where my leg is getting tired, and if my leg is getting tired, I'm assuming I'm not the only one in the room feeling that. And then we shift over to the other side. Shift, lift, get it up high enough so that you can pedal the bike. Perfectly normal sequence there. And then we come back to the shifting and lifting. We always just kind of come back there the same way in the sets when we come back to holding the ball. So shifting and lifting. Then we shift and hover again. And then we go into tapping. So we're going to tap the toe forward, tap the toe to the side, tap the heel to the back, or maybe tap the heel front, toe side. Tap, tap, tap. Either the heel or the toe out front, doing all 3. And we do that on both sides. So tap, tap, tap. And then progressing that just a bit, hovering the foot, and then drawing a circle, getting back to center, and then I say tap if you need to, but hover if you can, retrace that circle backwards. So now we're kind of adding a little bit of instability to that standing on one leg. And of course doing those on both sides. Circling, circling back. And we'll usually do 3 or 4 circles, enough to tire out the leg you're standing on. And then we'll often go into some forward-backward movement. So we stagger the step, get both feet flat, find your center first, and then shift the weight forward. That'll force the back heel to come up. And as you shift the weight back, the front toe comes up. We'll do that on both sides. And often even progressing that to just lifting the back leg as the weight shifts back, lifting the front foot. We'll do that on both sides. And of course, then we have our tandem stances. So toe to heel. And part of this is simply just standing. So if you can get into this posture and just stand, that alone is great for enhancing your balance. And doing both combinations of which foot is forward is important. We can advance this tandem stuff, one, by walking. So step, step, forward and backward. But there's a few other things that we can do, and this applies both to the single leg stance and the tandem. Anytime we're in a stance that we are less than completely stable because we've narrowed that base of support, we can add some things like some arm motions, taking hands out to the side, hands to the front, hands up top, maybe one hand down, adding a little side bend to kind of force you off balance a little bit, and you have to compensate for that. And always doing both sides. The other one that we've done quite a bit of now, and several times for both classes, is the head movement. So our field of vision is a very important component of our balance. When we alter that field of vision or take it away completely, then we're relying entirely on proprioception, those receptors in our muscles, to keep us where we need to be in space. So starting with the head center, and then just slowly, head and eyes together, turning to one side, coming back to center, coming to the other side, and then perhaps adding a look down, which often feels very stable because suddenly you can see everything. And then the hardest one of all, perhaps, is when we look up, because then we can see almost nothing that helps us know where we are in space. And doing that with the combination of both feet, one foot forward, one foot behind, both the left and the right foot forward. So those are the basics. Now there are a lot of other things that you could add to your kind of home repertoire. Sidestepping is particularly good. When you train it, you want to exaggerate a little bit. So we're shifting all the weight here, picking up that other leg. We call it stepping over something, whether that something would be a yoga block or a towel. In my house, we would be stepping over a cat, most likely, because there's, in spite of losing one of them not long ago, we still have a lot of them running around. Other things that we've kind of done that are very helpful. So standing on one leg, taking heel forward, heel back, heel forward, heel back. A little bit like the tapping, but this one is a little bit different than that. And one way we can modify this and do a little brain work at the same time is when the foot goes backwards, the hands come forward. When the foot comes forward, the hands go back. So a little bit of brain work to go along with that. And on all of these movements, important if you are at all unsteady, don't just do them in open space, do them with a support available, whether that's the back of a chair, a countertop, a wall, something. So just a little bit about the things that you can be doing at home. It's not just about the forms. The forms come pretty natural after you've done them enough times. So by now, we're pretty comfortable just going back and forth, holding the ball. That one should be just second nature, even parting the horse's mane. And if you're having problems with the pattern, just do it once. And then instead of going into the next side, just rewind it. Away we go. Rewind. Toss away. Rewind. Just over and over again, repeating that pattern. And what you're doing is you're mapping a muscle movement to something the brain understands how to do. There are a lot of folks in the movement space right now that are working with the brain component of it. So how to get our brain to be convinced that we can do things like fall off to the side and be able to effectively react to that because we've trained going to the side. One of the things that we have done now in the last couple weeks with both groups is when we do our tandem walking, so you get to a point where it's pretty easy to step and step, going both forward and backward. Once you've kind of trained that for a little bit, it becomes fairly second nature to you. But part of what we're picking up there is we're working, our momentum is carrying us. So like our half step walk, take the momentum component out and take a step and then just hold there. You have to find your steady again because being able to stop is as important as being able to go. Take another step, just hold it, find your steady point. And that applies to going sideways, going forward, going backward. So a whole lot of different balance stuff available to you that you can work in a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there at home. I hope that's helpful. I will see one class later today, so you will be seeing this after I shoot it. And I will see my folks in West Bend tomorrow for the completion of week 11. Take care.